Welcome back to Warriors News Fan Report, where we bring you the latest and most exciting sports news every single day. Tonight, we dive into a rumor that has sent shockwaves through the NBA landscape. Could Brandon Podziemski, the promising 22-year-old guard who dazzled in his rookie season, actually be on the trading block this summer? The whispers began less than 48 hours after the Warriors' disappointing second-round exit at the hands of the Timberwolves, and now voices across the league are pondering the unthinkable. What if Podziemski is not the untouchable asset he was last offseason? First, let's set the scene. Golden State's playoff hopes were extinguished in Game 6 against Minnesota, and in the aftermath, the conversation immediately turned to tomorrow's title window, while Stephen Curry still competes. At an all-star level, these are the twilight years of his peak. The front office is under immense pressure to take bold steps, and that means evaluating every piece on the roster. Podziemski impressed everyone as a rookie. His three-point stroke, his ability to create off the bounce, and that fearlessness, defensively. He even earned the rare distinction of minutes-heavy praise from Steve Kerr, who famously said, "We don't need convincing. Just give me 34 minutes a night." Yet, some analysts like Tim Kawakami of the San Francisco Standard have begun redefining Podziemski as a third guard, questioning whether he can consistently step into a lead role. Kawakami's comments were quickly echoed by Marcus Thompson, too, of The Athletic, who praised Podziemski's undeniable value on analytics boards, but floated the notion that he might serve best as a trade chip rather than as a foundational building block. Thompson pointed out that Podziemski's statistical profile, shooting splits, defensive ratings, and net plus-minus makes him a coveted asset league-wide. Could it be that the Warriors, while recognizing his talent, view him as leverage to land a superstar or expiring contract that could help balance their immediate championship push with long-term flexibility? Even Anthony Slater, one of the most respected voices covering Golden State, weighed in with the caveat that the league loves him, but that the Warriors could be open to moving him if the right offer emerges. Slater noted that Podziemski checks so many boxes, youth, analytics, coachability, that he should remain off-limits, yet Mike Dunleavy Jr., Golden State's general manager, hinted to reporters that he is willing to consider deals involving younger players if it means bringing back a bona fide star, and that brings us to the ultimate speculation. What kind of package could the Warriors muster, and who might be the target? The conversation took an even more startling turn when Brian Windhorst of ESPN speculated on the possibility of acquiring Giannis Antetokounmpo from Milwaukee. Windhorst acknowledged that matching the Greek Freak's max salary would require significant assets, draft picks, salary-matching veterans, and intriguing young talent. "Yes, there's a package the Warriors could offer," Windhorst said. "They have future picks. They have young players who could excite the Bucks. And yes, Podziemski was untouchable last summer. Who knows if that remains true now?" The mere suggestion that Giannis could end up in the Bay Area, paired with Curry, sends shivers down every Warriors fan's spine, and raises the stakes on whether Podziemski might be the centerpiece of such a blockbuster. Imagine the front office. Chess match. Golden State dangles Podziemski, Jonathan Kuminga, and their 2025 and 2027 first-rounders, along with an expiring contract like Klay Thompson's or Draymond Green's, to match Milwaukee's cap needs. Could the Bucks bite, trading a generational talent for a mix of youth, picks, and the promise of Madison Square Garden-style dynastic basketball in San Francisco? It sounds far-fetched, yet just months ago, the idea of trading Kuminga for a proven star felt equally outlandish, and now those rumors swirl too. Of course, none of this is confirmed. The Warriors brass has not made any official statements about trading Podziemski or pursuing Giannis. But the cycle of rumor, counter-rumor, and speculation is the lifeblood of the NBA's offseason. We know Joe Lacob once labeled Podziemski a future all-star, and the team treated him as a non-negotiable asset in 2024 trade talks. Yet ownership's willingness to shift pieces in pursuit of a larger prize suggests nothing is sacred. Could Podziemski's quiet second season, marked by inconsistency against Minnesota's defense except for one standout game, have shifted the front office's calculus? When the postseason lights went out, did the Warriors' leadership ask themselves, what would it take to add one more superstar and guarantee another title run? Loyal Warriors fans might bristle at the thought of parting with Podziemski. He represents the future, a young guard who can step into Stephen Curry's shadow when that era ends. He's already woven himself into the team's culture, bonding with veterans, embracing the Splash Brothers ethos, and even running the offense in late-game crunch time. But if Dan Peters and Mike Dunleavy Jr. believe the path to sustained contention requires a bold trade, if they believe Podziemski's secondary scoring and tertiary playmaking can be exchanged for a max talent's primary impact, they might pull the trigger. What, then, becomes of Podziemski? He could land on an Eastern Conference contender that values analytics and shooting, slotting into a prominent sixth-man role and continuing his development away from the Bay Area glare. Or he could be part of a package that brings back a dominant forward or center, giving the Warriors the size they've long sought in the post. Either way, fans must grapple with the possibility that the kid many saw as the heir to Curry's throne might become the currency to purchase a more immediate piece. So here's where we stand. The offseason is young. The Golden State executive. Sweet is a buzz, and every passing day without a firm declaration about Podziemski's status only adds fuel to the fire. Will the front office hold the line, deeming him untouchable and doubling down on internal development? Or will they open discussions with teams like Milwaukee or even Brooklyn, exploring the tantalizing prospect of a blockbuster that reshapes the franchise's identity? Is it possible this speculation is a strategic leak designed to gauge market interest and inflate Podziemski's perceived value? Could the whispers of Giannis and other stars be a ploy to drive up the price in trade talks? The savvy moves of NBA general managers often include smokescreens to protect their true intentions. Warriors fans should ask themselves, what would Joe Lacob and team president Rick Welts do? Would they stand pat, banking on continuity and the known ceiling of their young guard? Or would they take a swing at the jackpot, betting that Podziemski's allure is the ticket to luring a generational superstar? Could this be the beginning of a summer where the Warriors truly transform, where they pivot from gradual adjustments to a seismic roster overhaul? Fans are already scouring mock trade proposals on social media, constructing trade machines that spit out possible combinations. But the reality is that any deal for a star of Antetokounmpo's caliber or any top-tier talent demands courage, secrecy, and willingness to embrace risk. As a lifelong Warriors supporter, I can't help but feel a mix of excitement and apprehension. The idea of pairing Stephen Curry with Giannis is breathtaking. Curry's unparalleled shooting gravity and playmaking marrying with Giannis's unstoppable drives and defensive prowess could vault this team into the pantheon of all-time greats. Yet the thought of parting with Brandon Podziemski, the embodiment of the team's future, stings. I imagine a world where Podziemski grows into a perennial all-star on another stage while the Warriors chase championships with a reimagined core. If you're as invested in every twist and turn of the Warriors offseason as I am, hit that like button, make sure you're subscribed to Warriors News Fan Report, and ring the bell now, because what happens next could redefine this franchise for years to come. As the dust settles on the initial tremors of Podziemski trade chatter, the real drama looms over the next chapters of Golden State's roster construction. Let's imagine the timeline. It's late July, training camp is about to break, and whispers emerge from practice facility insiders that Brandon has been ruled out of trade discussions, only for another leak to surface that Mike Dunleavy Jr. has held secret meetings with multiple front offices, subtly gauging their willingness to include high draft picks, salary dumps, and two-way contract swaps in a Podziemski-centered proposal. The rumor mill cranks to life, Fans refresh their apps hourly, and national pundits pivot from discussing the draft to debating whether Podziemski is truly expendable. In this fevered environment, the Warriors' coaching staff doubles down on messaging. They love Brandon's work ethic, cherish his chemistry with Curry, and view him as a key rotation piece for the next decade. Yet, the brass, they operate in a different realm, one driven by market opportunity and a championship window that may not last forever. The front office is under unrelenting pressure to seize any chance to keep the three-point dynasty relevant. Every potential trade partner knows this. If you can pry loose the team's rising guard, you gain leverage over a franchise that already features Steph, Klay, and Draymond. Now, let's get specific about how a blockbuster deal could shift the balance of power. Suppose the Warriors identify a target in a more traditional big man, let's say a stretch five who can protect the rim, rebound at a high rate, and step out to knock down threes in spurts. Names like Brook Lopez or even Yusuf Nurkic come to mind. To land such a center, Golden State would likely have to part with Podziemski, Jonathan Kuminga, and their first-round picks in 2025 and 2027. That's a steep price, but consider what you get in return. A true paint anchor who can alter paint scoring and partner with Green to create an interior fortress. The spacing remains intact around Curry, and you gain a veteran presence who's already proven he can lead a front-court rotation. Alternatively, the Warriors could pivot toward a superstar wing. Imagine pursuing someone like DeMar DeRozan or Bradley Beal on an expiring contract. In that scenario, Podziemski might be packaged with draft capital and a veteran role player to balance salaries. The hope would be that Beal's scoring prowess, combined with Curry's pull-up threat and Klay's catch-and-shoot excellence, creates a trio so lethal that it tears through playoff defenses. But there's no guarantee DeRozan or Beal would mesh seamlessly in Kerr's motion system, and the long-term cost is losing the dynamic young guard who fits perfectly alongside Curry. Every potential transaction carries risk. Trade away Podziemski for a center, and you worry about what happens when that center regresses offensively or succumbs to age-related decline. Trade him for a veteran wing, and you risk chemistry disconnects and cap space clogging. Stay put and develop Brandon, and you might be passing on a title opportunity while Curry's prime wanes. This is a classic crossroads. Maximize the present or build for the future, and the Warriors' decision will ripple across the NBA landscape. Amid these speculations, we must remember the human element. Podziemski is more than a stat line. He's a kid from California who grew up chasing lessons from Curry on YouTube. His smile lights up the locker room, and his bounce passes in practice set the tone for second-unit ball movement. If he's dealt before he truly reaches his ceiling, we risk losing not just a player, but a spirit that personifies what Golden State stands for. Yet, the front office could argue that extracting maximum value from Podziemski now, when interest is at its peak, simply makes business sense. Where does it all land? The Warriors' summer will be defined by their willingness to consider moving pieces that once felt sacrosanct. Fans will debate endlessly on social media, dissecting every cryptic quote from Kerr and every draft night tweet. Local beat writers will report anecdotes about Curry pleading for Brandon to stay, while Dunleavy quietly ignores texts from potential trade partners until he's ready to enact a blockbuster. Then, one late-night press release will confirm it, a trade that sends a young all-star in exchange for a veteran cornerstone or draft capital. Whether that trade leads to unprecedented playoff success or becomes a cautionary tale in front office overreach, it will forever shape how we view this era of Warriors basketball. A decision to trade Podziemski might usher in a new championship run, or it might leave fans yearning for the spark that only a homegrown talent can deliver. The beauty of sports lies in these moments of uncertainty, the chance to witness history in real time, to feel the exhilaration of risk-taking, and to ride the emotional roller coaster that comes with chasing greatness. At the end of the day, I believe the Warriors have the courage to make bold moves, but I also hope they recognize the rare gem in Brandon Podziemski. He embodies the future of this franchise, and his growth alongside Curry could define the next decade. Yet, if a trade emerges that aligns with the team's title ambitions, and I hear Dunleavy's voice saying, "We can't pass this up," I'll lean into that belief, trusting that the front office is guided by the same championship hunger that fuels us as fans. No matter what unfolds, one thing is for certain. This summer's decisions will echo through every fan's living room, every bar in Oakland, and every highlight reel around the world. And we'll be here, on Warriors News Fan Report, to break down every sign, every rumor, and every bold move. Because this isn't just another offseason, it's the defining crossroads of a dynasty's twilight. Stay tuned, Warriors faithful, for all the updates you need to follow this unfolding saga, and remember, in the Bay Area, legends aren't just born, they're made through daring decisions.